ourselves lightning and thunder.
Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll come back as snow. And then I'll see you all at Christmas time.
Hello and welcome to our cinema show here on Arts 24, where I'm joined by film critic Emma Jones to look at some of the new releases over the festive period. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Well, first, we're looking at the third part of James Cameron's Avatar series, and this is Avatar Fire and Ash, a new element for him this time. Emma, what can we expect from the film?
Yes, well, there is a lot of fire in this film because Avatar Fire and Ash picks up straight from the end of The Way of Water, which, of course, was the last film. So a new threat emerges straight away to the poor Na'vi people in the shape of the Fire Tribe. Now, they are a group of Na'vi volcano dwellers led by the revengeful yet oddly seductive Varang, who wants to make fire with human guns. Now, Varang is played by Una Chaplin in her franchise debut, and she is possibly the greatest on-screen presence of this movie, as much as you can be in motion capture, that is. Otherwise, you've got a returning cast of Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, Stephen Lang and Kate Winslet.
OK, well, the film premiered in Los Angeles with some of those big names on the red carpet. Let's hear from Sigourney Weaver as she returns to play Jake Sully's daughter, Kiri, and here's a glimpse of the film too.
Yeah! What does Dad always say?
Sully stick together.
No, the other one.
Sully never quits.
That's right. Sully's never quit.
How do you still live? What if every human being on Earth could live here without a mask?
I mean, it takes you to a world of Pandora where the stakes are so high, and it really is life and death, and your planet's future or not. And you know, it's really it's such a huge experience. I found watching it 3 times.
So, Emma, the first Avatar is still the biggest movie of all time, making almost $3 billion. The Way of Water's close behind it. Does Fire and Ash deserve to be as big a hit?
Well, quite honestly, this film is more of the same Avatar. It is another visual triumph, as you'd expect. If you watch it in 3D, quite honestly, you feel the water practically lapping at your feet. It's the most wonderful spectacle, and if you enjoy that, you should definitely still go and see this film. There is a little bit of character development in this movie. Father-son dynamics take an important place here between the young human, Spider, played by Jack Champion, and both his fathers, so to speak, Miles Quaritch and adoptive father Jake Sully. There's also quite a lot more spirituality in this movie from the Na'vis, but the narrative, it's still essentially the same. Basically, the Na'vi existence is threatened by humans who do not respect the beauty of the planet of Pandora. So how many times does the same ecological message by James Cameron, it's a really important one, but how many times does that have to be hammered home?
Well, apparently some more times, because James Cameron has said that he's planning Avatar 4 and 5, and number 4 is already in the making.
Yes, indeed. Now, he has said also that those releases seem to be somewhat dependent upon the success of this movie. I wish it well, but I do feel that Cameron might have run out of things to say with Avatar. He's only 71. I'd really like to hear some more original stories from him.
OK, well, next to something quite different, a film that won 2 prizes at this year's Cannes Film Festival for Best Director, Best Actor. It's nominated for a Golden Globe and the best for Best International Feature Film. This is The Secret Agent by Brazilian director Kleber Mendonça Filho, who directed 2016's Aquarius. It stars Wagner Moura, who many people will know from that series Narcos. Emma, 2 awards at Cannes is quite unusual. Did this film merit them?
Yes, I think it did. The Secret Agent is wonderful and it's highly original. Now, it is set in the 1970s military dictatorship of Brazil, so you may think it would have echoes of last year's Oscar winner Walter Salles' I'm Still Here. However, this film does not follow any conventional storytelling, although in its heart, I feel it's a thriller. So Wagner Moura is playing Marcello. He's a man trying to get out of Brazil with his young son because as an academic, he stood up against government corruption, and now the minister involved has hired a hitman to get rid of him.
OK, well, let's take a look at what to expect from The Secret Agent.
Aqui a gente faz mambembe, jeitinho brasileiro. a tua ameaça de morte? Eu não teria vindo aqui pedir sua ajuda se eu não achasse que era uma situação perigosa.
Despite the seriousness of this topic, the movie just has a feel of Brazilian carnival in itself, I think. Although it is full of lowlife, that's mainly corrupt police officers, it's also full of humour as well and vivid retro colours, perhaps because it's filmed with Panavision anamorphic lenses.
He is a film buff indeed. And in fact, Kleber Mendonça Filho was once a film critic. He spoke to our culture editor, Jackman, at Cannes about his decision to set the film in that period, the 1970s, when he was a young boy.
It's a very specific game that you play. You play with, you know, the decor and the objects and the cars and the textures of time. And all of this, I wanted to paint this historical picture, which is not only based on fact and research, but also from my own memories. I was a little kid at the time.
Yeah, he makes lavish use of Steven Spielberg's Jaws in this movie, which would have just come out in cinemas. You can really feel his love for cinema in this movie. Now, his direction in the lead up to the inevitable bloody finale is extraordinary. It is up for a Golden Globe. It should be a contender for a Best Picture Oscar nomination. Clearly, Brazilian film having a moment.
Yeah, definitely want to watch them. Well, now for Song Sung Blue by director Craig Brewer and starring Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson as real-life Neil Diamond tribute act players, Thunder and Lightning. Kate Hudson's been nominated for a Golden Globe for her performance as Claire Sardina. Let's get a glimpse of the film.
Sold out shows. What's a Pearl Jam?
You don't know who Pearl Jam is?
I guess we're opening for Pearl Jam.
We were so close. We can be lightning and thunder again. I am not afraid anymore.
Here we go.
So, Emma, both of those actors there have shone in musical films before. Jackman in The Greatest Showman, Kate Hudson in Almost Famous about 25 years ago. How do they measure up in this one?
Yeah, music is clearly a natural fit for them both, but especially for Kate Hudson, who at times is almost unrecognisable because she disappears so far into her character. The inspiration for this film came from a 2008 documentary about the couple, and it's about two down-on-their-luck musicians, Mike and Claire Sardina, who find love with each other in middle age and some success as well as this Neil Diamond tribute act, Thunder and Lightning. They did indeed, as you saw in the trailer, open for Pearl Jam at one venue, but then inevitably it's got to be a story. Tragedy does strike.
Okay, and what about Neil Diamond himself? Did he give the film the green light?
Yes, he's definitely given his blessing to the film. He's 84 years old now, and we know that he definitely met Kate Hudson at least. Just to say, though, this isn't a Sweet Caroline sing-along a musical in any way, shape or form. Both actors give really great performances of lesser-known Neil Diamond tracks. I think that this narrative possibly is kind of sweetly old-fashioned in some kind of way. It's a classic story about a couple struggling with money, trying to make success out of their lives, and Craig Brewer has said that this film is a tribute to all those musicians who never quite make it big in life. And similarly, I feel this film has also been slightly overlooked in awards season because Hudson is fantastic, but so is Hugh Jackman also. He gives a very tender performance as Mike, a Vietnam veteran who's struggling to stay sober.
A nice balance between heartwarming and real there. Now, finally, to some Christmas cheer or Christmas tears, depending on how you see it, Kate Winslet makes her directorial debut here with a movie called Goodbye June. That's on Netflix from December 24th. And she does have a daughter, Mia Threepleton, who's an actor. She appears to have a son, Joe Anders, who's now a writer. The 21-year-old makes his own film debut with the script.
Yes, indeed. Well, Anders, whose father is Sam Mendes, wrote the script when he was 19 years old.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Based upon the death of his own grandmother. The film itself stars Kate Winslet, Helen Mirren, Timothy Spall, Andrew Riseborough and Toni Collette, probably attracted by the prospect of Winslet directing rather than a first-time scriptwriter, to be honest. It's a story of a family brought to the hospital bedside of June, who has cancer. She's played by Helen Mirren. Now, despite the sad setting, given the British vibe and the stellar cast, there is a touch of a working title about this film. I feel you know what you're going to get. There's joy and naturally unresolved conflict between June's 4 children.
OK, well, Kate Winslet actually spoke to reporters about working with her son. Let's hear from her.
He got a place in a screenwriting course, and he was encouraged to write from the heart. And at the age of 19 that he was at the time, the most significant thing that had happened to him was losing his grandmother, my mum, in 2017. He was 13 years old at the time. And he was very overwhelmed by how wonderful we were able to make it, how geographically, unlikely it was that we would all even be able to be there for her.
To say that this film is really competently directed by Winslet, as you'd hope, and very, very well acted. The star is undoubtedly Helen Mirren in this movie. And as lack of experience slightly shows in a bit of cliche in the script, but thanks to Mirren's very, very fine performance, it still provokes that moments that you feel of love and loss at Christmas.
And maybe the sign of things to come, more things to come for Kate Winslet. Thank you very much for the roundup, Emma. It looks like we've got a full slate of holiday films to choose from. We'll leave you with a look at Goodbye June. Do check in with us in the new year for more movie news here on Arts 24. There's more news coming up just after this.
If there are any heavens, my mother will, all by herself, have one.
It's a big family, June.
My gorgeous daughters.
So lovely they can all be here for you.
I'm here. I told you never wear yellow because it doesn't suit you, darling. Now, why don't we have goose for Christmas?
I always like a cheap bird.
Dad, shut up.
It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Mercury is in retrograde, though, you know that.